Welcome back to the show, everybody. You're going to like this one today. Well, there's some things you may not like, but I tell you what, you're going to like hearing about the project on this that the Central Bank of Mexico is going to be using on the XRP Ledger. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $1.12 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency. It's off by 1.1%. Good morning, everyone. Bitcoin, 23,500 plus. Ethereum, 1,600 plus. Tether market cap is 71.1 plus billion. Oh, my goodness. Where it stops, nobody knows. Well, maybe the Department of Justice, U.S. Treasury. 37 cents for XRP right now. We're off by 4.6% on the 7-day. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done this, you can get 81% off right now if you click the link for PureVPN. Help hide your identity online. This is one of the many different layers of protection that I use, that I love using. And guess what? They have expanded their offerings as well. You can get PureSquare as well, which helps you to organize your passwords. You can put them in a secure place, all in one place, know that they're protected. I tell you what, this is really a great new addition to what PureVPN offers. It is very, very affordable, low investment for yourself. I tell you what it brings. Click that link underneath the video. Eleanor Terrett says here, we've got some motion, ladies and gentlemen. Singh from FTX pleaded guilty to wire fraud. This just in, the former FTX director of engineering pleads guilty to U.S. criminal charges. Conspiracy to commit fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and conspiracy to defraud the U.S. by violating campaign finance laws. Singh's bail conditions: $250,000 personal recognizance bond, travel restricted to the continental U.S., surrender all travel documents, refrain from making any new applications, supervision as directed by pretrial services, sentencing scheduled on 11/13/2024 at 10 a.m. And right here, Jeremy Hogan says, pleaded is the correct past tense of plead. I don't care what a judge might have said to me at a hearing. It is not pled. There you go. So have that. Shout out to Eleanor Terrett and Jeremy Hogan for that information. And right here, we see France passes new crypto registration rules for firms. You know, this is a part of the push from the G20, from the FSB, from the BIS to get the globe moving in a coordinated direction, so where we don't have any kind of crypto harvest area on the globe, which we do have currently in multiple places around the world. Something is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Brace yourself for that. So we know France is moving to bring out those crypto regs. We'll let you know when we have more details on that. MasterCard reminder here that they rolled their system out allowing stablecoin payments. I think this is a big look into the window that stablecoin payments will happen. But remember, it is USDC that is cited in this stablecoin payment acceptance example. Not hearing anything so far about USD Tether. That's why I'm so concerned about how big the market cap is and where the U.S. Department of Justice and the Treasury truly stand on Tether. 2023 will be the year of crypto token price divergence. Now, I like this for myself. Bank of America says, and let's just quickly take a look at this, because what they point out here is what I have been really, I guess, an investor for, right? I've been an investor in this space. I'm not a trader. I'm not downing you if you do trade. I think that's great. I just don't personally have the stomach for it, just like there's a lot of people that don't have the stomach for the way that we speculate wildly on this channel. And I totally get that. Everybody's built different, and thank God for it. But here they say the bank expects tokens that power smart contract-enabled blockchain platforms will outperform meme coins and governance tokens. Well, this just makes me very happy because this all points to actual use case. And listen, not that it's related to Bank of America, but Coreum is the mainnet launch for Coreum. Coreum is smart contracts, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why I'm excited to learn more about it. Shout out to Bob Ross, Fabio, Reza, and the whole team at Sologenic and Coreum. I can't wait to go to this mainnet launch in Los Angeles. I'm very excited for it, and I'm very excited to learn as much as I possibly can about this new blockchain technology and what they really do. I do know it's smart contracts. It's 7,000 transactions per second, so I can't wait to find as much information out as possible, and I will share it with you. But I do believe use case is where we're going here. Now, this is Yahya, I think it's Fanusi, I think it is. So Yahya Fanusi here, former CIA analyst. I want you to take a listen to what he says about China leading the CBDC race, and let's pay very close attention to what he says at the end.
We want to talk to him about, but first let's just start with the CBDC question. Where are we on that here in the U.S., and how far out front is China?
Well, the U.S. is, I think, sort of on the sidelines, doing some good work, doing research. But if you think about the rest of the world, China is actually leading the way. China has been working on a pilot since 2014, working on its central bank digital currency, has already sort of had millions of transactions, millions of wallets, and has an array of pilots that are in the hands of people testing out smart contracts and programmability of money. So they actually have data that they're iterating on, and they're helping other countries with standards and collaborating on CBDC to CBDC transactions. So I'd say we're behind, although it doesn't mean that it's a race where we have to do exactly what China's doing, but the conversation globally is happening, and China is well positioned to influence that conversation.
How concerning is that from a security perspective, given your background on that and on counterterrorism and some of these other issues? You have special insight into this.
Yes, and I think the backdrop to this is that there's really a geopolitical context to all of this, and we have to make sure that we're not losing the forest for the trees. The geopolitical backdrop is that around the world there is now, I don't know if it's a race, but there's certainly a march towards finding alternative ways for new digital financial infrastructure, basically how to do cross-border transactions in a way where you're not relying the same way on traditional banking infrastructure. That's happening, whether we want to like it or not. And it's not just China. Of course, China has its project, but other countries in the EU, the UK, Japan, other parts of East Asia are all trying to figure out a way to innovate with payments. Now, the geopolitical implication there is if there is an alternative financial infrastructure, if there are new rails and the U.S. doesn't have the same influence on that, is not sort of at the table when new standards are being laid, then that impacts U.S. economic statecraft. Sanctions, the ability to sanctions, the potency of our sanctions power comes from the centrality of the U.S. to the financial global infrastructure. So if that shifts, even if it shifts a little bit, doesn't mean that China is going to take over or that the yuan is going to displace the dollar. But if there's a viable new rail where sanctioned actors can now transact, that's trouble.
Did you hear that last part? Let me just give you this right here, if I could.
Or that the yuan is going to displace the dollar. But if there's a viable new rail where...
A viable new rail. He's talking about a payment rail.
Sanctioned actors can now transact, that's trouble.
Shout out to Yahya Fanusi there for that little piece of information. You know, us here in the XRP community know about such a thing. And, you know, to speak to what is coming here, let's listen to Tom Emmer talk about what's going on in the U.S. and how we cannot afford to have a payment rail that spies on every citizen and every dollar that is spent. Take a listen.
The Biden administration is currently itching to create a digital authoritarian-styled surveillance-style digital dollar. And through an executive order, they are pursuing analysis on a retail CBDC that would not be open, permissionless, or private. In fact, it would be ridden with significant risk to Americans' privacy, security, financial inclusion, and a whole lot more. This kind of digital currency would give the federal government access to and control over literally every financial transaction conducted by Americans. That's why I, along with a number of my colleagues, introduced the CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act.
And I tell you what,
the Biden
it's
administration,
a good thing they have, but we need to see real action come in place. I'll tell you something, just that 45-second clip of knowing what the Biden administration is wanting to do is reason enough to take yourself to the polls right there. And it's like, and I'm not making a case for the right or the left. I have no fandom on either side of the aisle. I just believe that anybody pursuing something that allows that much control over the citizens is horrible and despicable. And the last thing we want to do is end up like China on the other side of this digital revolution. Looking right here, speaking of clarity, digital revolution, and what's coming here, Jake Chervinsky from the Blockchain Association, shout out to him, says, this week we expect the Treasury to publish proposed rulemaking that defines the term broker from the infrastructure bill of crypto tax provisions. You remember this, I'm sure. There will be many details to consider, but the main question is how the proposal treats DeFi. Will it say web app hosts are brokers? Remember, the infrastructure bill created new tax reporting requirements for various crypto market participants. In part, that makes sense. Nearly everyone agrees that centralized custodial exchanges should give 1099s or similar to customers as long as the rules are clear. But the broker definition, which says who has to do reporting, was way too broad. It could capture non-custodial actors with no customers at all. This could force DeFi apps to KYC users surveillance through the back door of the tax code. Keep an eye out for the rulemaking. You know, again, this should be a pretty busy week coming to us, ladies and gentlemen. This is extremely exciting news to me, and I think you will find it to be to you as well. Innovation in central bank digital currencies, ladies and gentlemen, from Ripple and James Wallace right here. Let's check it out. Innovation in central bank digital currencies. James Wallace, this came out just 2 days ago here. And what I want to show you and start with here is that they had one of these challenges, innovation challenge, with a total of 6 winners. I want to focus on a few of them right here. And we start right here for the Innovate challenge. It's CoinField, I'll just say, if I'm saying it wrong, but CoinField developed a unique localized application designed to be used by the Central Bank of Mexico. Come on in. CoinField explored building a retail CBDC on top of the XRP-Ledger for Mexico's central bank. I'm liking this. Using SAT, Mexican Tax Authority here, it says digital signatures called file or e-firma. The use of digital signature verifies the identity of users, thereby helping to prevent fraud and theft. Now I want to go down here and show Raheem here has built, and this is a different challenge, right? And CBDCs are uniquely positioned to drive innovation with financial services. Community loans enable users to give out and take uncollateralized loans in peer-to-peer manner, incorporating a unique reputation-based system to establish trust. In Raheem's entry to the CBDC Innovate, community loans developer tried to think about how users would interact with the application and what I would need from the user, and went from there. So basically, using CBDC means that the users hopefully already KYC'd, and handling fraud could also be simplified. Raheem believes that the CBDCs are an ideal platform for innovation thanks to their ability to be backed specifically by the nation's central bank and their ability to enable easier to build interoperable financial systems. Now, This is one I wanted to show you right here. It's PeerPay created CBDC innovative winner Nestor Campos Rajos. It says PeerPay offers a unique ability to transact payments with a variety of digital assets. PeerPay is a payment system that allows anyone to transact money, send and receive different assets, see transfers, and manage an agenda of recipients. It says Nestor created PeerPay because he believes the future of payments has to be inclusive and interoperable. Now check this one out. Two other specific entities to highlight from the CBDC Innovate Challenge include Spend the Bits. Shout out to Jay Cambo right here. Yeah, Spend the Bits and Checksum. It says both applications provide a solution to enable CBDCs to work as a functional bridge between other digital assets. CBDCs hold great potential to revolutionize finance with impacts such as financial inclusion, reduced friction, near instant settlement times, interoperability, integration with enterprise and retail applications, says Spend the Bits founder Jay Cambo here, who conceptualized the project by leveraging central bank monetary framework and perspectives. And this is where I go ahead and remind you, Jay from Spend the Bits is going to be at XRP Las Vegas along with so many others. You better get your ticket because I'm telling you, they are selling a lot faster than I thought they would this far out. I would not wait. Get that ticket. It's unbelievable. I can't even, click the link. Don't mess around. You're going to fool around. Somebody already told me in Florida they're having trouble getting flights. Don't play around and get your ticket and think that you can get it last minute because it will be gone. This thing will sell out. Looking right here, I just want to highlight a couple other things here. Peer-to-peer loan app we see, and then we see on the anyone with the XRPLedger account can participate in, obviously. Chris Winkler, creator of P2P CBDC, shared his thought process in formulating the app for 2022 CBDC Innovate Challenge. They combine the unmet needs for people that don't have access to financial services, like loans, with global development of fast and secure and more accessible central bank digital currencies. It says that's when the fusion of our idea of P2P loans with CBDCs on the XRPLedger was born. And what I'm seeing from all these different projects, even including the project here to be used by the Central Bank of Mexico on top of the XRPLedger, is that I'm seeing a bunch of real use cases that now not only help the wholesale back end, but peer-to-peer, right? So we're seeing a lot of peer-to-peer projects pop up, which tells me they're starting to push in that next phase of adoption, and not only the wholesale back end and the market infrastructure that needs to be built, the plumbing, if you will, right? But now really starting to work on things that work right down to the consumer level. And that is extremely exciting to me, ladies and gentlemen. This here from Crypto Bull 2020 a few days ago says XRP finished its 4 triangle touches just like in 2014, 2017, before it ended up having a massive bull run. If we were to repeat such a thing, we could see $27 by June, which I don't think anyone hearing this, including myself, would be upset about. But there is no guarantee, ladies and gentlemen, that is for sure. But the reality is we must keep an eye on it. There's a lot of fundamental news out here that we're waiting on, including the SEC versus Ripple case and a ruling in that matter. Good or bad, I'm here for it. That's going to do it for me, not financial advice. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below. It's just my digital perspectives.